Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Temple of Possibilities. I am Minister William, or Reverend Will if you wish, leading today's sermon of February 8th, 2026. And as always, we'll start with a moment of silence for prayer, meditation, or what have you. Alright, thank you. Today's sermon is called How Are You Loved? And it was written by Melissa Jeter and uploaded to the Unitarian Universalist Association website on November 22nd, 2023. Whether we realize it or not, it is our wonderness, or how we cope with it, that dictates how much our behavior shapes our social habits and informs our ways of thinking about the world. Gabor Mate in The Myth of Normal, Trauma, Illness, and Healing in Toxic Culture. When I'm working in the community, I often see adults who are struggling with housing, with familiar relationships, with money, and just being. Everyone wants to tell their story. I listen as much as I can, whether it's disheveled people with holes in their pants, people dressed to the nines. All classes of people have suffered and are still suffering from the lack of love. As I listen to their stories, I think, who loved you and what happened to you? Who is loving you now? There is little differences between me and the people I try to serve. I too need to be seen, to tell my story, to be listened to in confidence. The kind of confidence where two human beings connect in passing and understanding happens. Sometimes it's a head nod of acknowledgement to the dark-skinned black man with thick glasses, or a smile to the older white woman with the walker. These gestures acknowledge our imperfection and the fact that loving oneself is hard in the face of relationship ruptures and fragmentations. Because we are more busy protecting ourselves first than connecting, chaotic neglect, abuse, domestic violence, bullying, and very rigid definitions of being in the world have fed our distrust, encouraging us to expect scarcity, cruelty, and loneliness. Building community in the public requires a heart-centered approach with a mind that is still as water, so I can reflect the needs of others and appeal towards substantial possibilities. It includes protecting myself and and the people with whom I've engaged, even as it requires vulnerability. It also includes a calm, centered conviction that I am also someone who is of love, worthy of love, and loving. This kind of self-compassion is a power that can be cultivated. The public is full of people, yet that does not automatically make a community. Relationships of trust and the ability to rest and be in full safety are also necessary. Building relationships require the risk of being open and curious. Sometimes it requires affirming another person for who they say they are. and not for who you want them to be. It requires time, patience, and calm. Prayer. Spirit of life and love, let there be safe havens where we can feel at ease, where there is nothing to be done but rest our weariness. Let love be the sweetness that embraces us in here and now, right now. Amen. Esi, so be it. Love is something that I often feel I don't have. I mean, there, especially when my depression acts up, there I feel like people don't care. But I know High Priestess Yolanda is there. There's a friend who's more like a daughter to me. She cares. But I have lost a lot. And because of my past, I feel if I lost somebody, that meant they never cared. I've been played with a lot. I had my last ex broke up with me because I didn't know what I wanted, and she wanted something, and she wasn't willing to give it up until I figured it out. Um, but in my mind, it was that she didn't care. We fought for a while, and I still feel that way, but I just don't talk about it anymore, especially with her. I know uh, my sister and my friend uh, with my ex wants me to see a psychiatrist, but every time I think about a psychiatrist, I think of the last one I went to, who he looked like a mafia boss. I told him how I felt. He looked me right in the face and said, "You need to grow up." Then looked at my mother and asked her what she wanted, what medication she wanted me to put on. I never went to a psychiatrist again. I just push everything down. I don't talk to anybody. Like I said, I often don't feel loved, even though I have people who love me. I chased happiness for so long, I have no idea what I want anymore. There's a few things I know I want, but yeah. But I'll see you next week. Remember, when we all come together, the possibilities are endless. Thank you. I'll see you next week.